Hey everybody, Steve here for Who Took My Dice, Ultramarines Beyond, and welcome back to the channel. We are now in my favorite part of the year. That nice little distance, the beginning of October all the way to just after New Year's. We've got Halloween coming up, and I love Halloween. Thanksgiving just happened here in Canada. I know November is the American one. Christmas is coming. It's a time where we start reflecting on life and beautiful memories of all these times come before, waiting for that first snowfall, the twinkling lights coming soon, but even now waiting for those, watching the scary movies. It's also a great time to get some really cool hobby stuff really cheap. But I'm not talking about from the big companies, but stuff at your local dollar store, stuff that you can use to make extra terrain, add some character to your table, a lot of cool stuff like that. Now, we all know the hobby is expensive and it's getting more expensive. So I find these things are always a helpful way to kind of keep building up terrain for the most part for me personally. But a great way to keep building that, a great way to add some character to the table, as I find a lot of tables look the same, and it's good to add something special. So I actually hit up one of the local dollar stores and found some stuff, and we're going to showcase it, show you what I'm going to do with it, and see if that inspires some people. So let's go. So the first one here is this cool little, I guess it's a candle holder made of skulls on top of skulls with, I guess, what's supposed to be maybe a double duty here. It's supposed to, I guess, look like maybe the red wax of a candle, but also blood. Halloween, obviously. Now this one's cool. I like it a lot. This one is going to be painted completely black, I think. The skulls will be made to look like stone, maybe something carved out of stone, and the blood slash, I guess, wax, I guess that's supposed to be blood. I can paint it up that way. I may paint it a different color just to make it stand out. Again, it's a cool little thing. Make it maybe something, some sort of ancient shrine carved out by some death cult or vampires, or maybe even something dedicated to corn if you want to look at 40K, right? Skulls on top of skulls, blood flowing freely. That's right up Corn's alley, right? Again, for me, I could paint that green or blue, maybe something different to make it pop. Either way, it's a very cool piece. It was like $2. So a great way to add something to the table, but a scatter terrain, something different, something unique. But yeah, I'm going to paint that up to make it look like stone and not bone. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Maybe make it look red for blood, maybe make it a bit darker. Who knows? But that was one of the first finds. And it isn't Halloween without finding a whole bunch of these skeletal things at your local dollar stores. They've got all sorts of sizes. I've seen dragons, cats, dogs, strangely with their ears still. I know it doesn't make sense. And I mean, this doesn't make sense either. This is supposed to be a scorpion. It doesn't have a skeleton. It has an exoskeleton, but it's Halloween. We're not going to complain about it. It's pretty cool anyways. This is another one I found there. This one for me, these are always perfect to throw on a tabletop, whether you're doing fantasy or some sort of sci-fi thing. It could be obviously a giant scorpion or something that's been risen from the dead by some necromancer, or just the dead body of some alien creature on some sci-fi world. For this one here, I would definitely repaint it. It's obviously not very well painted. But I'd put it on some sort of base. And for things like this, I love to use old CDs. They're a good size. I can glue this to it, and then I'd paint it up. This one might actually be a bit bigger because you have the tail and the outstretched claws there. But yeah, definitely something very cool. Again, maybe make it just another piece of scatter terrain, something to your squads to move around. Just the dead body of some massive alien, something that would have been terrifying were it still alive. And this is the last piece here, and this one's pretty cool. This one actually lights up. You can see a switch there. The batteries are dead right now, and I'm not sure if I'll actually use it lit up. I've seen it. It's just a multicolored light, which could be pretty cool, but obviously it's supposed to be some sort of dead tree, haunted. At one point here and here, it had a plug of hot glue with like a piece of rope, I guess, to look like moss hanging down. It looked horrible, so I took it out. It's got a little gravestone, RIP on there. Definitely gonna, for me, I would definitely carve this off, maybe throw on some sort of chaos sign there. So I have some bits I can do that with. Again, I'm gonna repaint it, and again, what's really cool is there's multiple different ways I could go with this. I could paint it up to look like a dead, dying tree. I could paint it black, or go for maybe a dark brown and highlight it, dry brush it up there. Maybe add some washes in there to kind of give it a rotten look. I can make it a spectral tree. Go for some different light blues and whites there to make it look spectral, like it's you know, some sort of emanation from who God knows where, from, you know, summoned by some evil sorcerer, or some warp tainted piece of what's left of a demon world, something like that. Again, it's very, very cool. I may even try lighting it up, see how that works. But again, it was only like $4 or $5, very inexpensive, and a great way to add some character to a table. Especially this time of year, you want to kind of give your tables a spookier feel, maybe throw some campaigns together or what have you, where you and your friends can either have traversing through a tabletop RPG, Dungeons and Dragons, or have it on the battlefield with your Space Marines charging around it, or maybe even make it a part of the game itself and make it an objective, or maybe even some sort of part of the terrain that is alive and can deal out death. Something like that, right? There's all these different things you can do. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to paint it. Again, paint it up as a maybe a dead tree. Go for some browns of some sort. Maybe add something in there to make it look a little rotten and wet and just, you know, not cool. Or maybe make it spectral, or maybe just paint it up like it is now. Make it dark and very evil looking. Again, another great way to add some character to your table, and it's very inexpensive. Well, there's some ideas, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, it's a great time to pick it up. Another one is right around Christmas, because then they have even other things you can get at the dollar stores, cheap, inexpensive ways to add some character to your table. At one point, many years ago, I picked up some trees. Just some nice little trees, perfect size for wargaming, covered in snow, so you can make a nice snow-covered battlefield. Do watch for follow-up. I'm going to get a number of those done up so that you can see the final project, the final result of the project. And hopefully it inspires you to go out and add this stuff to your tables. Maybe to add a little bit of character, a little bit of a difference from the norm, or maybe use in your RPG games, right? Whatever you want to play. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was enlightening. I hope it inspires you. And as always, keep rolling those dice. I will see you later. Bye.